Don't drift away.
Yo, what's up everybody? Hope that you're all having a great day. Alright, so today I'm gonna try something a little bit different on this channel. So starting from today and moving on forward, I'm going to be adding some more in-depth football news to my channel. This is something that I have a passion for, and eventually I do want to be some type of sports personality or like a sportscaster like a Stephen A. Smith. So yeah, so this is like my first introduction into that field. Alright, so without saying too much more, let's just get right into what happened this week in football. Alright, so today's first story, and probably the biggest story, is Lucky Whitehead being released from the Cowboys. So if you guys haven't heard, this guy Lucky Whitehead was a former wide receiver for the Cowboys who was actually released on, check this out, he got cut from the team for having his identity stolen. Now you guys might be wondering how he got his identity stolen. Let me break it down for you. So the story goes that someone actually had Lucky Whitehead's social security number. They just got a hold of it somehow, and they shoplifted around $40 worth of things in Virginia, which this guy wasn't even in the state of Virginia at the time. But the guy was using his name and his social security number, so it did look like he was the one that was shoplifting from whatever store it was. So since he had his identity stolen, he actually didn't realize that he was summoned to court for those shoplifting charges, and so he missed his court date, which in turn there was a warrant out for his arrest, which is why the Cowboys cut him. Now here's the messed up thing. So after doing a little bit of research and digging, that police department actually found out that Lucky Whitehead was not the guy that actually shoplifted and that he had his identity stolen, but the Cowboys didn't re-sign him. Now there's two ways to look at this. On the one side, you could be sympathetic with Lucky Whitehead and be like, oh well, he had his identity stolen, so he shouldn't have been cut from the team, because obviously like he should have been cut from the team if he actually did do this, but since it came out that he had his identity stolen, that he should have been re-signed back onto the team. But on the other hand, Lucky Whitehead is not the best receiver in the NFL, and when you're talented in the NFL, you can get away with a lot of things. I mean, just staying within the Cowboys organization, look at how they handled Greg Hardy and all of his domestic abuse cases. They kept on letting him come back. Why? Because he was putting up numbers on the field. And that's where the NFL, and especially how Jerry Jones has been handling some of these things, that's where it kind of goes awry or just gets really messed up and corrupt, because your talent on the field kind of outperforms the stuff that you may or may not do off the field. But there is a good ending to this story. Lucky Whitehead was actually picked up by the Jets off waivers, so he has found another NFL team, so he is going to still be able to play in the NFL, which is always good, because you don't want to see, you wouldn't want his career to end like that by having a mistaken identity and then having to retire because no one else would pick him up off a waiver. So I'm happy that he found a team. Alright, and the next story we got is of my main man Odell Beckham Jr. wanting to not only be the highest paid receiver in the NFL, but the highest paid player in the NFL. What? So for any of you guys who have been sleeping underneath a rock, Odell Beckham has been absolutely destroying the NFL. He's been breaking records left, right, and center of just like fastest to 100 receptions, just like most touchdowns by a receiver in the first 3 years in the NFL. Like in his first 3 years of work, he is by far one of, if not the best receiver to ever play the game of football. But he does not deserve to be the highest paid player in the NFL. Odell Beckham Jr. definitely has a lot of promise, but he still has some growing to do before he can expect a contract like that. I mean, right now the highest paid player in the NFL is Derek Carr, who is making roughly $25 million a year, and the highest paid receiver is Antonio Brown, making $17 million a year. And personally, I do not think that Odell Beckham Jr. is worth $25 million a year. I mean, he's good, but not $25 million good. And one of the main stats that will prove why he's not worth that much is in his one and only postseason game, he had 4 receptions for 28 yards. And it wasn't like they weren't throwing it to him either. He had 12 targets, 4 receptions, 28 yards. Odell, my man, you got shut down on the biggest stage that you've ever been in the NFL so far. And if you want to make a claim that you're worth $25 million a year, you're gonna have to put up numbers in the postseason. That's where you make your money. But I definitely think that when he does get his long-term contract, he will be one of, if not the highest paid receiver in the NFL, which that's perfectly understandable because he is a beast, but I don't think he's gonna be making that quarterback money. I mean, the largest contract ever signed by a wide receiver was Calvin Johnson's 8-year, $132 million contract. And even though Odell Beckham's good, he cannot take over the game like Megatron can right now. I do believe that in the future and going forward, he will, as he learns the game more at the NFL level, as he just grows, he will become that Megatron level player. But as of right now, I don't think that he has that. Throw the ball to me and I will literally do whatever it takes to get the ball and I will make that catch. He has that potential and he has shown sparks of that, but as far as the consistency, he needs like another year or two and maybe he could sign an extension that would make him the highest paid receiver by a very large margin. And sticking with contract news, we have Everson Griffin, who just signed a pretty nice contract. He just signed a 4-year, $58 million contract extension with the Vikings that makes a lot of sense. The Vikings are one of those teams that they just need a couple of pieces and then they'll be able to go deeper into the playoffs. I mean, they already have a playoff team right now, but they just need to add a couple more pieces and keep the pieces that they already have there, and then they'll be able to make deeper playoff runs. And Everson Griffin is one of the top people on that list. When you look at his production for the last 3 seasons, he's been up there as one of the top sack leaders in the NFL. And so my man just made his money. Next up, we have Joe Flacco, who's going to be out 3 to 6 weeks with a back injury. I couldn't really find what caused the back injury, but he does have a back injury that's going to keep him out for a couple of weeks. So Ravens fans, pray that he gets better soon, because you guys are already kind of struggling on offense and you definitely need your quarterback to be able to do anything this season. And the last story of today, but probably the craziest, is of this dude, Jaheim Otis. This dude is 6'4", 286, and he is in 8th grade. What? What are they feeding this kid? And not only that, but this dude runs a 4.7 40. Where are people like this made? What is this? This is a superhuman right here. Now, as you can expect, being that big and that fast at such a young age, you're gonna get a lot of attention from colleges, and that's why he already has offers from Alabama, Ole Miss, and Mississippi State. So I literally just got done making a video about a 5th grader getting a college scholarship from the University of Hawaii. So it's kind of crazy. It seems like every single year kids are getting younger and younger when they're getting their first college scholarships, and I don't really know how I feel about that. I think at 8th grade, I think it's definitely pushing it, but I think 8th grade's fine because like you're about to go into high school, and basically once you're in high school, you're fair game as far as like college recruiting goes. But 8th grade is like, okay, like we know that you're probably going to be good. I mean, this kid's already like, he's got the size. It's not like a young, smaller kid who's just like making plays. Like, I mean, this dude can go out there and line up for Alabama right now and size-wise be able to handle himself. But I don't know, I think that the NCAA should have some kind of rule where you can't offer kids until they're at least in high school, because if the kid is good enough to get a college scholarship in 5th grade or in 6th grade or in 8th grade or whatever under high school, they should be good enough to still get the scholarship in high school. So I think that they should have some kind of stipulation where they have to wait before they can offer kids. Alright, so that wraps up everything that happened this week in football. I hope that you guys are enjoying this new style of content. I really do want to bring more in-depth football news to this channel because that's something I like, and it seems like you guys have some pretty in-depth comments in some of my videos, so I just kind of want to give you guys a more in-depth breakdown of just what's happening in football and just get more into the football culture. So I hope that you guys are liking this style of video. So if you are liking this style of video, go hit that thumbs up button. Let's try and get this video to 75 likes because that'll let me know that you guys are enjoying these videos. Also, don't forget to comment down below of any other stories that you guys are seeing in football that I might have missed so that I can cover them next week, because this is going to be a once a week thing. I'm gonna stick to them on Fridays, and as it gets a little bit closer to football season, I'm probably gonna start doing them on like Mondays or Tuesdays so I can wrap up like what happened college weekend and also for the NFL weekend. But right now I'm gonna be sticking to them on Fridays so I can just kind of wrap up everything that's been happening. But yeah, just leave a couple of stories down I might have missed, or just stories that intrigue you guys so I know what to talk about. And also don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you guys stay on top of all the videos that I am coming out. Whoa, hit them with it. Yeah, hey, with alright, with that being said, I hope y'all have a great day, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Ciao.